Hey guys, Stefan Fischer here from All Off Road. I hope you guys are well. I now had the chance to test the GME XRS-370C4P UHF for my canning trip and now as well here, and I thought I share my opinion and what I found about that system with you. Little bit of background info: I always carry two UHFs. I had in the past iCom, I had Oricom, I had GME, and to be honest, GME I found have the best customer service. I had one unit fail on me in Tiny after 3 years. I didn't have the receipt anymore because I purchased it from eBay from a dealer, but yeah, I couldn't find the receipt anymore. I contacted GME, went to Seven Hills, and within half an hour of wait I had a new front of the head unit. In comparison to that, my iCom, I think the 410 Pro it is I have, one of my microphones disintegrated in my hand. To be honest, it was one of the older microphones I swapped around from one of my older iComs, which probably would be around 3 years old. But I then found out that warranty does not cover anything which is damaged. So yeah, I mean, on Fraser Island it broke in my hand, so that was not covered under warranty. I wasn't super impressed with that, especially for a professional unit. So anyway, the XRS system from GME I was quite interested in from the day it came out, because I always found that UHFs lack the technology, so to speak, to really easy change the settings. They were all very complicated, and I was wondering why there is no UHF which you can control from your mobile phone. Voila, GME came out with that XRS system which lets you control a lot of the settings from your mobile phone via Bluetooth. I actually contacted GME just after it came out, but at the time they weren't interested. And when GME contacted me now just before the canning trip and asked whether I want to test one of that units, I definitely jumped onto that. And yeah, I carry this unit now for the past probably 5 months or 6 months. I did 2,000 kilometers on the canning with that unit, and also did the 10 mi road with it, which is another 700 kilometers of corrugation. Some of the terrain we drove on the canning, some of the side tracks, it was so overgrown that these antenna, which I originally had here, I swapped them around halfway, copped so much abuse that I thought there is no way that antenna will last.
Because that is antenna already lost. But that's antenna for the Selfie Go booster, and that's my GME. But as you can see, the GME for the past I don't know, 5,000 kilometers has copped everything. And if you look at it, you see it, but it's working 100%, no issues. However, I'm thinking of swapping them now around both here and give that GME a little bit of a reprieve. End result all good. Antenna relocated.
I have now a GME here, but before that, this is the antenna for my Selfie Go booster, or was the antenna, and that didn't survive on the canning for the first day. So I was very happy when GME agreed to provide me one of their cellular antennas, which I have now. One of the features I really love is that you can upgrade the firmware yourself. Let me quickly show you how that is done. So I go to my XRS Connect app, click that, and now it should show me my radios here. So it's searching for the radio. Here we see it already. I'm gonna click on that, and it tells me there's a firmware update available. I'm gonna click on yes. If you're wondering what firmware is, that is pretty much the underlying software which powers your radio, and with the firmware upgrade it can contain new features, it can contain bug fixes. So firmware updates on UHF radios actually are usually performed by a service center, but it is great that with the XRS-370 or with all the new XRS Connect series, you can do the firmware updates yourself, which is excellent. You usually don't want to interrupt a firmware update. So as we can see, the firmware update can take a little while, which is fine. We're nearly there now, 90%. Firmware update completed. And that just restarted, so that should be it. So very simple process, and really that means you can get new features, you can get improvements on your UHF radio at home within 5 minutes. So that by itself for me actually is a feature which makes it worthwhile to get that new radios, because in my opinion the UHF radios lagged behind technology for quite a while in regards to user friendliness and so on. So yeah, that's brilliant. Can here change the brightness. Yeah, many things, the user interface I can change here, which is great. The XRS-370C4P package also comes with two different antennas. The 474B, which has 2.1 dBi, and the 475B, which has 6.6 dBi. So what I'm carrying here at the moment is the 6.6 dBi, which is suitable for open country. So that is still on from the Canning. And then the 2.1 dBi, for example, I would put on when I go to the Victorian High Country or to hilly country. Changing the antennas is super easy, super quick and very convenient. Fortunately, they have a grub screw, and that is pretty much the only thing which you need to loosen. Then you can unscrew the antenna, put the new one on. Really is a job of 2 minutes. My old antenna for the Selfie Go booster didn't have a grub screw. And I guess that was one of the reasons why it didn't last very long. Yeah, so few of the features of the GME. It has a beautiful OLED display. To be honest, I'm not the biggest fan of having the display and the microphone all in one unit. I prefer a unit which has buttons, which has a turn knob for the volume. However, in this case it actually fits quite well because it fits up in my roof console box here. And I have to say that OLED display is beautiful. Yeah, it has two front-facing speakers, which I found work very well, even though I have another speaker hooked up here. But that is mainly, that speaker was already there from my previous UHF, so I thought I may connect it. But I can actually tell which speaker to use. So they both work very well, the built-in front speakers or the rear speaker. The unit is supposed to have 1 million push-to-talk cycles, the microphone. I obviously haven't tested that yet, but yeah, I don't think that really will be an issue. The microphone has a pretty nice feel to it. The push-to-talk button is pretty nice. That's actually why I switched over my old microphone to the new iCom I had at the time. Because I just didn't like the feel of the new microphone. The GME feels very good, and yeah, I really like that. One thing I was a little bit concerned of is the new magnetic holder for the microphone. Because, I mean, it's super convenient, but I thought that's never going to hold on very corrugated roads if we do a lot of bumps. But I can say it works brilliantly. Not once has that microphone dislodged, which I can't say for my other microphone here on the opposite side, which is mounted with one of the more traditional mounts, and that actually came loose. So I'm gonna change if I can. I have to look whether that mount actually I can fit onto one of the iCom radios, but I love to have that GME magnetic mount, so that worked brilliantly. At the functions, the radio settings, scan settings, select call. You also have some customizable buttons where you can assign certain features to. That is pretty cool. You have a voice playback, so you can actually record the last messages. So feature-wise, really top of the line. Let me quickly show you how the iPhone and iPad application works. While I didn't compare every single feature, from what I have seen is that every setting you have available on the microphone, you also have available on the iPad or iPhone app. And that makes it very easy to change your settings without going through the menu hierarchy on the UHF. But in saying that, it is actually clear and easy and far more usable than any other UHF I had before. The XRS Connect radio can store up to 400 user programmable receive-only channels, for example from emergency services, local councils, fireys, as long as they're still on the old non-digital network. Yeah, my final verdict, I really love the radio, and to be honest, I think I will even replace my second radio, the iCom here, with one of the GME units. I can't really tell you anything negative. I have not found anything I dislike, except, as mentioned, I would love to have, especially for here, a proper unit with knobs and so on, with all the display in the unit. But that is just my preference, and in the case for this one it works actually better as it is now with everything in the microphone. I know the customer service is top, and nowadays, after quite a few bad experiences with a few companies, I have to say customer service is as important as the quality of the product for me, because stuff can go wrong with any product, that is just a given. However, how a company deals with it if something goes wrong, that really makes all the difference now for me, and is a main decisive factor for me which company I go with. And yeah, GME has proven for me they're absolutely brilliant. And again, that was without them knowing that I have a YouTube channel or that I do reviews. That was well before that. So the customer service I've experienced, second to none. Yeah, thanks for watching, guys. As always, if you like my reviews, if you like my channel, please hit the subscribe button so you get notified whenever I upload a new video. Also leave me a comment. Have you used the XRS unit or do you know of anything better? Always keen to hear of different gear. And if you can, maybe even consider supporting me on Patreon. You get all my videos a little bit earlier, and on top of that, with a small monthly contribution between $2 and $10, you can really help me supporting the channel and making these type of videos.